You're gonna be famous. You're alive. Okay. Hello again, everybody. We have currently 0 viewers, but it takes a second for them to come in. So we have another Andrew Yang, how to talk about Andrew Yang language workshop. And today the topic is why Andrew Yang is good for women voters and why women voters should consider him. And so today we have our usuals. We have myself, Hex of Colorado, and we also have Kennedy.
Hi, I'm Kennedy.
And you guys don't have to speak. I know you guys are a little camera shy, but you guys can introduce yourselves. You can plug your Instagram if you want. Oh yeah, there you go.
Hi, I'm Alexis. Follow me at AAVS on Instagram. Okay.
Hello, my name is Matt. Nice to meet you guys.
That's at AAVILLAS. So we better see her Instagram blow up after this. It's so fun fact actually. I know we're all going a little tangent. I'm kind of stalling for time to let people join, but she actually is the photographer on some of the photos on our Instagram account. So the really cool looking ones where I'm in there with the Yang Gang shirt and Laura's in there with the Yang Gang shirt, and you're also on it too. If you swipe right on one of the photo albums, you'll find her. So she's in there. Okay, so today we're talking about the facts about what Andrew Yang would do to support women, and I think I'm gonna let Kennedy kind of take the wheel on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, so share us the facts. We're going to cover 2 main topics, which is why the women vote matters and what Andrew Yang's going to do. So take it away.
Hello, I'm Kennedy. I'm a woman. Right. So women are like a huge portion of voters. Actually, women vote more than men by 3 percentage points, regardless of like age, race, class. Typically, women do vote more than men. Also, regardless of party. Sorry, I forgot to put that down there too. 37% of all voters are white women, and unfortunately, a lot of those women don't lean Democrat. Unfortunately for us in the Yang Gang, for instance, Trump won with 53% of the vote from women, and Ted Cruz
53% of the vote from white.
Oh yeah, sorry, from white women. And Ted Cruz in our state of Texas won with 60% of the vote from white women, whereas black women overwhelmingly voted for him. 94% of black women backed O'Rourke during that election. College-educated women are the only exception, and they lean left. 59% of college-educated white women voted Democrat in 2016. There's a lot of different theories as to why more white women vote Republican rather than Democrat. Do you want me to go into that, or just kind of leave it up to if they want to research?
You can go into it a little bit, maybe. We might return to it later.
A lot of people theorize that white women in poor communities really have only their family to get information from to vote, and they also, in more traditional households, do all of the domestic work like cooking, cleaning, raising kids, which wears you down a lot, and as such, they don't really have the time or the effort or the brain power left to go and try to take the remote from their husbands, fathers, brothers, and try to look at a different news source, a different perspective, and so they just kind of get their views from the people around them. But just women is a very complicated voting bloc. There's like many different ages, races, political parties of women. So it's very hard to pick like one. There's no magic bullet to get the whole vote of all women. What Andrew Yang has, we hope can reach out to a lot of women. All of his policies, I personally think, are very helpful for all women. But again, there's no like big magic bullet. So why am I focusing on white women? The fact of the matter is that Black and Hispanic women are already doing the work. 70% Hispanic women back Democratic candidates. And like I said, Black women, 94% supported O'Rourke. Generally, if you look at a Democratic candidate, Black women, like between 80 and 100% of Black women will back that candidate. And so it really is like white women who are voting Republican more than any other, more than like minority women. Native American women are actually disproportionately ignored. 1.3 million Native Americans are not registered to vote, and if they were, many states make you show like a voter ID or a photo ID with a with an address on it. And if you live on a reservation, that's a problem because you typically don't have that ID. Sorry, flipping a page. So also there's a large potential of Native American voting populations in places like Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, North Carolina, which if you listen to Andrew Yang are all places that are threatened by automation and have actually been devastated in the past by automation, like especially in Michigan. So they're kind of being hit by a double whammy of not being able to vote and so having their jobs taken by automation. So that is one way that Andrew Yang will help, is by addressing that. So that's kind of all the big facts about women. Oh wait, I have more. I do have more. Sorry. But wait, there's more. There's plenty more facts. So one of Andrew Yang's big policies is increasing assistance for single parents. 40% of the children being born in the U.S. are born to unmarried mothers, which is up 15% from 1980. There are 13.6 million single parents in the U.S., and most of them are women, which is very sad because kids raised in two-parents households do better in almost every dimension. I was raised in a single-parent household, and I could see the difference. People in two-parents household got better grades than I did, had better emotional and mental support. They were able to go through high school without a job like I had to do. So it would have helped having assistance for single parents. Also, the fight for equal pay is another one of Andrew Yang's policies. He actually admits in the policy that the 80 cents to $1 thing is sort of fuzzy, especially when you also take into account different races. Native American women will earn less than white women, for instance. So there's not really a magic statistic we can point to. And also, many employers can retaliate against their employees for being open about what they earn. I lived in Nebraska, which is a no-cause firing state. So if I had tried to discuss my paycheck with other employees and my boss found out, he could have fired me, and there would have been nothing I could have done. I couldn't have gotten my job back, taken him to court, anything about it. So those are all the big facts to keep in mind when talking about women. Does anyone have anything else they want to add really quick? Sorry.
I mean, I feel like you're about to allude to what he says about the topic of fighting for equal pay, because I think you brought up a good point, which is that the 80 cents to $1 is still a fuzzy number, but I think a lot of people will want to know, like, whether or not it's a fuzzy number, like what will he do to fight for women's equity.
Wow, yes, Hexel, that was a great point. So actually, Andrew Yang, one of his things that he wants to do is pilot studies to see if different policies result in more equitable hiring, like 360 review promotions, blind hiring, and also work to regulate employers that can just fire their employees for talking about their paycheck. And so he wants to get the data to see if it's 20 cents less than men, if there's any change at all. And because it's such a hard thing to try to calculate. And so Andrew Yang wants to put different things in place to see if we can calculate it. So yeah, we'll look at the other stuff too. Andrew Yang is pro-choice. He believes in safe and affordable birth control that should be provided to all Americans, that it should be left up to the choice of the individual. It shouldn't be the choice of like their family members. And one of the things that it relates to that is that the regulation requirements set by individual states, he believes, should be subject to an oversight of a board of doctors, not legislators. So again, abortion is a medical issue, and therefore there should be a panel of medical experts to be talking about it and helping to set regulations, not just legislators. So that's the big one. But it is important also that he is pro-choice, but he's not necessarily like super pro-abortion. It's people should have the choice to pick if they want to have a child or not, and that's a lot easier to do when you have a UBI, marriage counseling assistance, and all kinds of things in place that help you raise a child. It's a lot easier to pick having a child than having to abort it for fear of losing your job, not being able to care for the child, all kinds of things. And so people who are pro-life actually have seen some of his policies and said, hey, that helps a lot because women have a better opportunity to have their child and take care of them. But he does want to provide resources for planning and contraception, and also invest in programs to provide support for single parents, which include the freedom dividend, of course, it always comes back to that, mandatory family leave for full-time employees, regardless of gender, tax breaks for childcare services, federal funding for pre-K programs, the creation of responsibility sharing networks, allowing parents to work with each other and invest in communal housing designed specifically for parents to be able to pool resources and share caregiving. He's also for universal pre-K education for every child. So again, like just immense help for single mothers. That would have helped me. I have 3 siblings that all we struggled to find pre-care child support for. And all kinds of things. The other thing is that he wants to initiate a national recruitment drive for big brothers and big sisters to recruit male volunteers to spend time with children who need a positive male role model. The waiting list for a big brother is twice as long than it is for a big sister. So people are missing out, children are missing out on having a positive male role model in their life, especially for single mothers that could use that extra help and have a good example for their kids. Yang would also subsidize marriage counseling and include family counseling in any family health care program. It's important. He takes mental health very seriously, as the rest of America should, and especially the health of family units and in marriage units. And so that would be part of the federal health care plan that you get, is you would be able to go to counseling. He would also pay all federal employees doing the same job the same salary. That might be shocking to hear, but you can pay employees even federally different salaries for the same job. And then he would refuse to hire outside contractors or companies that won't disclose salary information. So if you are, if the government is contracting with a business, they need to make sure that that business is paying all of their employees equally, no matter their gender. So yeah, those are the big points.
Great. So, thanks, Kennedy. That was a lot of good information. And so I think a few things that really stood out to me was he doesn't take an overtly punitive approach with a lot of these things. Because I feel like a lot of other candidates, when they see a problem, their first instinct is to kind of like have rules and regulations that punish. And so, for example, with the fighting for equal pay, you mentioned that what he wants to do at the federal level, as far as federal employees, but also spending time as a policy, looking at the data and finding out what different strategies work. And then also, there are some items that you addressed, that you talked about, that are simply not covered by other candidates, like recruitment for Big Brother, Big Sister. And what was something else that and then UBI, actually, the Freedom Dividend helps with families a lot, because like you said, mothers typically, the mother typically bears the brunt of being a single parent. And so if we want to empower women, it seems prudent to me that we would support them economically as well.
Yeah, actually, I think that's a very good overview of Andrew Yang's policies, that he's not punitive at all. A lot of people will say, oh, punish the father that left his children, but the children don't get any help, and the mother doesn't get any help either. And he is one of the candidates that's we need to not just be so vindictive to these people that have done wrong, but the people that they wronged aren't getting any help. And yeah, I know Elizabeth Warren is the only other one talking about pre-K child education. I could be wrong about that, but universal young child education. And also, the Big Brother, Big Sister thing. Everyone wants to have these big ideas, I will help single mothers and their children, but they don't say, here's how I'm going to do it. Here's the organization I'm going to work with. And I've worked with Big Brothers and Big Sisters before, and they're a great organization. And they definitely, I've seen them make the difference in kids' lives. So
awesome. Well, great. That is a ton. So I think we are at the 14-minute mark, so we don't have to prolong this too long. But if you could list off what are the policies, what are the headlines of the policies that you want people to look up, so that after we end this this stream, people know which policies to go on yang2020.com/policies. Which policies should they be looking up?
There are a lot of them, especially like I said, there's no magic bullet for the women vote. And so if you as a woman are more concerned about healthcare or the environment than any other issue, he obviously has huge headings over that. The ones that I talked about today were the right to privacy, abortion, and contraception, increased assistance for single parents, marriage counseling, and the fight for equal pay. And also for any viewers we have that might be LGBTQ, he has a whole policy regarding that. But also the fight for equal pay is like gender neutral, and so surely in that he does mean LGBTQ people as well as women and minorities.
Thank you. Awesome. So I think the last few things I'll throw in there, she pretty much covered everything. Is that once again, you can go to yang2020.com, look up all these policies. And then also, I think the one thing I'll add to that is we touched on it briefly, which is LGBTQ issues. And that's a whole large topic on itself. So I'm not going to go into it too much. But one thing is that, in terms of gender concerns, the freedom dividend, a lot of Andrew Yang's policies, including his LGBT policy, fights for equal treatment and economic justice for the LGBT community as well. Because we had a coffee social where the topic was LGBT rights, and one of the things that was brought up by someone who was a trans woman was that a lot of trans people are disproportionately at risk of facing homelessness or discrimination in the workplace or even violence in the workplace, because while we as a society we have progressed pretty well as far as gay rights are concerned, there's still more to be done, but trans people are still having even for harder to fight to go through right now. In Dallas, Texas, we've had number of killings of trans people because they were trans, and so kind of the fact that a trans person can be made homeless because of who they are, the freedom dividend goes a long way towards that. Empowering women goes a long way towards helping those people out, and so tangentially, yeah, it helps all women, especially those who are at risk, like people in that community. So, all right. So before we end, is there anything else you wanted to say? Final words? Anything else on the peanut gallery? Okay. So thank you so much for joining us. We'll keep it under 20 minutes. I'm in Hexel, Colorado. This is our language workshop. We always we meet every week. We alternate between Sundays and Tuesdays. So today's Sunday. So we'll do this again not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday, and then Sunday, Tuesday, Sunday, Tuesday. Sundays at 1:30, and Tuesdays at 7 o'clock. We have a different topic every week, but they're all focused around talking about Andrew Yang's policies and helping us be smarter about them and talk about them better. Follow us online. We're DFW for Yang on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can go to our website, DallasYangGang.com, to find events and to learn how to volunteer locally. So with that, thank you for tuning in. You guys want to say bye before we end the stream?
Bye.
Bye. That's Matt. That's Alexis. Follow. I mean, I know she was just like watching in the background, but if you want to like,
They were here for moral support.
they're here for moral support. If you want to follow her on Instagram, her Instagram is at at a what is it? At
Follow me at AAVS. Okay, done.
AAVILLAS. If you get new followers on your Instagram, let us know. I'll be curious to see if that works. Because maybe we'll do that. Do you want to plug your Instagram?
No, don't.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kennedy. She did all the work today of preparing our notes, and so we're very thankful for her. All right. That's all. Thank you, guys. See you next time.
Follow me.